Now, before we get started, in this video, we're going to talk about remote work, learning in public, and building your brand and credibility and getting jobs and all these other things. I believe blogging is a great way to do that. And we are running an amazing initiative called Community Classroom Blogging Challenges. And you can write a blog on Hashnode, you can submit it, using the hashtag blogs with CC, you can share it on Twitter, and we will help you in promoting your blog. And we will just give you some prizes as well. So for this month, you can write a blog on any of these tracks. And by the way, you can find this link in the description below. It's on our website, communityclassroom.org. In the event section, you can find it. So comclassroom.org/hashnode. That's the URL to this page. All the information can be found over here. We're giving away a G-Shock. This year we've given away some Mac Minis, M1, and some nice mouses. And this month, this is a special topic as well. So you can write a blog and you can share your university experience. Now this is something you can make, according to you, tech, non-tech, whatever you like, and you can win a Keychron wireless mechanical keyboard. This is a really nice keyboard, and if you're watching this video in the future, this website would have been updated with some new prizes, new topics, new themes. So still, you can take part and win amazing things. So check out the link in the description below, comclassroom.org/hashnode. And yeah, it's free, so you can just share, learn in public, write it in your own account. We don't have any like control over that. Any like you can do it on your own platform, like on the own account of Hashnode. All you can do is you have to do just add the hashtag blogs with CC so that we can find it, and you can share it on social so we can promote it. So yeah, check out the links in the description below. Welcome back to another episode of the Open Source Cafe, and I'm really excited for this one because we are answering one of the most asked questions, which is how to get a remote job, about learning in public, and all these other things. And we have a really special guest with us who has such a tremendous experience with these topics, Francesco. Francesco, for folks who may not know you, which I highly doubt, would you like to tell our viewers a little bit more about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Kunal. So I'm Francesco, 38 or maybe 39 for when we'll watch this video. I'm from Rome, Italy. I'm a developer advocate for daily dev. I have also a t-shirt. Let me show it. Okay, done with the promo. And then, yes, I've been very active on social media. I worked a lot on content creation. I have also some experience in public speaking. And before I had a non-remote job, and now I have a remote job. So maybe I can share my experience and, answer any of your questions.
Yeah, super looking forward to it. And by the way, Francesco also has a great YouTube channel. So all the things we'll be discussing in this video, like remote work, open source, learning in public, and all these other things, you can subscribe to his YouTube channel. You can check out the previous videos that he did. Wouldn't want you to miss out on it. You can check his link in the description below, or you can click on the title, and I have linked Francesco's channel in the title of this YouTube video. Highly recommend you to check it out and go give him a subscription and subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon, check out the previous videos, and yeah, definitely you'll learn something new. I've compiled a list of questions that most folks ask, and we'll also talk a little bit more about your journey. Like you mentioned, you were working on remotely first, and then you switched to remote work, and then we'll talk about like content creation and all these other things. So yeah, let's get started. Before we move forward with like working remotely, learning in public, how to find jobs, can you tell us a little bit more about your journey when like you first got into tech? What was your experience like, and a little bit about your university life as well?
Yeah, sure. I'll try to keep it short. Otherwise, this will be 4 hours long. So I'm a career switcher. So I've now not worked in tech for all my life. I've done another job, which was a volleyball coach. So sports, nothing to do with tech. But 7 years ago, I decided to switch to tech. So I started to study, learning in private. I hated the social media 7 years ago. So I was just learning stuff and try to understand basically everything about development. And long story short, one of the professors of my university, I had a very good experience in my university. I have a computer science degree, by the way, but nobody cares about that, it seems. And so one of my professors sent me an email and sent me like, Francesco, would you like to make an interview for the European Space Agency? I thought it was a joke, like, why are you saying this? Instead, I made this interview, and after less than 4 days, I was working there. This was 2017. I made the short version, of course. So I worked non-remotely for about 3 years. And then in 2020, we know what happened in March 2020. So COVID for the future generations. And I started working from home. I never worked from home before because I was working before in a gym and then in a normal office, we can say. And so I started to see all the benefits and also cons on a remote job. And I never came back to our office since 2020. Now I'm working remotely for daily dev. And yes, this is the short version, of course.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. So, speaking of working remotely, can you share about your, like, what were the changes that you saw and the benefits? I mean, obviously, you get to now work with clients around the world, which I believe one of the huge advantages when it comes to working remotely. It's I keep telling people who watch me from India as well that you can work with companies around the world. You can earn in dollars and spend in rupees. It's an amazing lifestyle that you can have. But according to you, like, what were like the differences that you saw, and how did it basically change your life working remotely?
Okay, so let's start from the obvious things because I've worked for the same company or the space agency from my house. I say, okay, that's not a big deal. For me, it was because I had 3 hours of commute every day by car. So it was a part-time job for me to go to work. And so that's the first shocking difference. I remember that after 2 years, I went back to give back my laptop, and I was asking myself, was I really doing this every single day from Monday to Friday? That's crazy because it's a lot of kilometers. So the commute is, I think, a part which is totally underrated. People should be paid, should get paid for the commute, or at least trying to have a deal because this will have an impact on your life. And then maybe Rome is not the cities with most traffic in the whole world, but for sure in Italy is one of the most with the most traffic. And if you get some accident, basically you start your working, which are we already stressed. You sit on your chair at 8:30 a.m. and you're stressed, and this is not good for your health. So this is the first shocking difference. And but of course, working from home, it requires you to move, exercise. So I had to balance with that. So this is the two main big difference. And also, this is a funny one because I've never been used to make video calls in my life. Now someone will laugh. So by working from home, I started to make some video calls with my colleagues, but I never did the video calls before. I was just making normal calls or just meeting in people in person. So I think that making the video calls with my colleagues helps me a bit, even on social media. Sounds a bit weird, but basically we all had to adapt, even my mom. So everybody has to do. Basically, my mom is a teacher, by the way, and she had to adapt. So it's this is the first thing that I can that I can say.
And do you like the video call part of remote work?
Beginning, I hated it, so I was really hating it. Now I don't say that I make a party every time I have to make a video call, a meeting, except for you, Kunal, of course. But we can say that yes, the time that we save by going to work, it's something huge. And otherwise, I would do, I don't know, a meeting in real life, in real person. And yeah, it's a bit different because, for example, for my company, Daily Dev, we made a company gathering. So we went physically to meet, and that was strange but very good because we can see that I don't know, in person. I think this is a bit I think an advantage of not working remotely, maybe for the company, but things they come out easily. Like if you don't like something, it's easier to find a problem. Instead, if you make a video call, you say, okay, so just end the video call and then I'll just shoot everything off. So this is a difference that I felt. It's not just pros, of course. Let's talk also what is good from a working experience. But I think as developers, it's great to have this chance to work basically from wherever you want. And I'm always skeptic about new things, but I have to say that it will be very hard for me to go back to a office. Now in 2 years, I work in an office. Someone will leave a comment on this video, but that's it.
Yeah, I think company offsites is they are important. The interaction in amongst people. I think that's key. That is why I lean towards hybrid remote roles, right? But overall, if there are these sort of like shortcomings, the the benefits that remote work offers exceeds those. So that's the reason why I recommend it. Cool. So we talked about your experience, we talked about your journey and everything. Let's talk a little bit more about how to get there, right? And I really love talking to people about their own experiences, like how they got there, because there is no one traditional roadmap, because everyone has a different story. So can you tell us a little bit more about, you do a lot of learning in public thing, and you preach about it also. And you have like so much following on like Twitter and YouTube and stuff. You do content creation and all these other things. So can you tell us a little bit more about how learning in public has helped you, and why would you recommend anyone to do it?
Okay, so most of the things that I will say, they are more specifically for developers, but of course this can be applied to many people. But let's say from a developer perspective. So from a developer perspective, there is this stereotype that developers, they just code in dark room with a black hoodie, with a green light. I mean, I have a black hoodie and I can put a green light if I want, but that's not the point. I think that I underestimated a lot of social media in my life. So now I started in 2020, but I think that having a social media presence, which doesn't make you a better or worse coder, maybe a bit worse because you have to spend some time on social media. But in the long run, it's basically, I say, it's like rolling more dice. So you have more chances. You can meet someone. You can showcase your work. Otherwise, there is the problem that I don't know, someone will like offer you a job, you accept, and you are like there, and you can't go out. So it's very hard. Sometimes it's hard to change and switch job. So I say what worked for me, and not to give random tips. I say what worked for me. So for me, starting working on my social media presence, it was March 2020. It helped me a lot. After 1 year, starting the pandemic, I quit my job at the European Space Agency. And some people say that was a bit crazy decision, because I think it's easier to quit a bad job than quitting a good job. So mine was a good job. It's harder to quit. And and to be honest, when I quit my job, I wanted just to relax a bit, focus on social media. But then I got offers, many offers. One from one of my friends. So I started working the day after. It's funny because I started working for him in the 1st of April. So someone thought that it was a joke. Like I said, I'm joining this company. It was one of my friends on Twitter, Simon Heuberg, Feed Hive. He said, oh, okay, so this is a joke. No, it was not. I worked there a couple of months. And then I switched to developer, to a DevRel job. I think that if you want to be a developer advocate, having a social media presence can help you a lot. It's not mandatory, but especially for this kind of jobs. And I noticed also that many, I don't know, like 20 years ago, there was like the pure developer, like the developer going to office with a shirt and the coding, and then going home. I don't know if this role is still alive, but basically now we are all on just a bit on social media. I mean, if I'm here on social media, people way younger than me, I think I have even less problems. And I think it can really help you to see new opportunities, find maybe a better one. So just to leave some doors open, just to not be stuck also always in the same place. I think I don't know a single person, I don't know if you know any of them, that have been working in the same company for 25 years in tech as a developer. Maybe there is some exceptions, but for sure is an exception. So you need to be prepared, because the things happen. Companies, they do bankrupt, or maybe you just find something better or something that maybe is not ideal for you, for your progress. So this is the biggest advantage, having a social media presence, and then of course learning in public.
Yeah, and the good summary I'd like to give for this is, because many people love assuming things, right? So don't assume anything. The thing what me and Francesco are saying is, being active on social media, learning in public, all these things, it does not mean having a huge following. Okay, so learning in public does not mean, this is a good quote that I came up with. Learning in public does not mean number of followers, or having being active on social media does not mean big number of followers. Then Kunal, what does it mean? It means credibility. That's what it means. You are saying, I work in machine learning. Okay, then someone goes to your profile, let's say your GitHub or LinkedIn or whatever, they should see proof of it. That, okay, this person has projects, this person has spoken at nice tech conferences, engaged in good technical discussions online, so they know what they're talking about, have written nice blogs. So learning in public, being active on socials, engaging in communities does not mean followers. You will find many DevRels with like 800 followers or something, compared to me and Francesco with
The good one,
100,000 plus.
the good one have less. So there is
The good one
this
have
is
less.
me.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm bad.
agree. Good ones
Uh,
are less, because good ones, the good followers, they are like, uh, what is the word I'm looking for? They are they are of a particular category, right? So if
very
there's
niche
some
down, very niche down.
niche town,
Mm.
yeah. And we, if you have 100,000 followers, they are from various domains. So many people. So yeah, followers does not matter. It does not mean follower. It's a vanity metric, to be honest. I'm quite frank with you. But what it actually means is credibility. That you can earn with 100 followers also, and that's what learning in public thing is all about. All right. Thanks,
So
for. But one more question for Francesco. Um, you mentioned about social media, and we were talking about events and all these other things, and you did some content around this as well. Can you share a little bit more about how introverts can get involved with this? Because oftentimes one more question I get is that, I say go to events, meetups or whatever, I say that join communities and webinars and stuff, but introverts are like, how do I go to event and talk to people or whatever? So what would you recommend for that?
nice. I think that I am the right person to ask this because I made a talk, a presentation in Berlin in front of 500 people. Like this was exactly this topic because I think I'm a strong introvert, and I think there are a couple of things that I can tell that can help you because. I can say this now. People don't trust me, but for me in 2017, I was even too scared to attend the conferences, so even go go there. And then I started attending some conferences in 2018, 2019, 2020. I got the ticket, but I could not go because there was COVID. And I don't know why or how, but 2 years later, I started as a public speaker. And I think that my social media presence helped me tremendously. I got an old DSLR cam and I never used. I wanted to start my YouTube channel 10 years ago, but I don't know. I was really too scared. It was impossible for me to go from zero, so just coding and watching videos, to make live streams, to make even record my voice. I remember my first Docker tutorial, even if I was, let's say, competent on the topic, it was something very basic. The stress to talk to a camera, it was very hard to explain, almost funny and awkward and cringe. So basically, what I did is to go step by step on social media. Don't put pressure of myself. And I say something in this presentation. Of course, I make a recap, which is first of all, just two things. Introversion is not shyness. You can be introvert and shy. You can be introvert but not shy, because now I'm still introvert, but I'm not shy anymore because I'm here talking with you. I'm kind of relaxed, we can say. And so shyness is something that you can work on it. And shyness, we can define this as a fear of judgment. You fear the judgment of people, especially the bad ones. And basically you are scared even to have some social interaction. Okay, so you can work on the shyness. For me, from my perspective, you don't become an extrovert, but you stay. You are still an introvert who does something. Usually, for example, after recording this, I feel just a bit stressed. Now I'm trained, but I can't change this because that's my nature. But I can say something that one of the most successful people that I know interviewed on my channel. I have a series of interviews, and some big people in tech are there. Of course, Kunal is there too. And many of them, they are introverts because introverts have they're more consistent, very focused on when they want to do something. So, of course, this is not something against extroverts, but I think that it's not necessarily something bad if you have this kind of, let's say, trait. So this is something. And yes, I would say that showing up daily on social media, even if you don't have a specific plan. I didn't have a plan when I joined social media. I wanted to promote an app, but then I went on a total different direction. So you can switch if you don't have an idea. But showing up daily can really make a difference and an impact, because you are basically like training every day. I'm not just saying that you stay on Twitter just to get followers. It's a personal growth. You grow in a personal way. You understand things. You get ideas. You make some friends. You find some good collaborations. You can find a job. All the jobs that I found after joining Twitter are related to my social media, and I can say this super fast. The work that I'm doing now in Daily Dev, it's because I interviewed the CEO of Daily Dev in my interview series. So I made one connection with him, and he basically offered me a job some months later. So this is true. I am a living proof of this. It's not just me, of course, but this can. I was very skeptic, but I have to say that it's true. Even if you are an introvert, I mean, introverts also get engaged, get married, otherwise we will be extinct, you know? So it's...
Cool. Well, thanks a lot for sharing, Francesco. And you mentioned a little bit about how you got a role from Twitter. I believe that's 100% true. Because most of the developers hang out on Twitter, and if you do good work, you'll get reached out and all these other things. But can you share a little bit more about how do you find roles? Like, okay, there's Twitter, there's learning in public. You go to events, network with people, pretty obvious stuff. Apart from that, anything else you'd like to share? Maybe LinkedIn or any other job like boards or whatever that you want to recommend. Any other
I'm
tips?
sure. Yeah, I'm sure that you can find a job using LinkedIn in the proper way, especially having a very good profile. There are many courses on this. Since I've never found a job using LinkedIn, I talk about what worked for me. But for sure, I know for sure that it's a great tool. I can say just one tip that maybe some can sound stupid. If you want to become a developer, put developer in your in your profile and remove the aspirant wannabe. Just put developer, put some links to your open source project. That's it. I'll just stop here because my knowledge on LinkedIn is limited. But I think just that these two things can have an impact, because people are looking for people that want to be developer. They don't care if you were, like, I don't know, delivering pizza before. I mean, it's good. I like pizza. But if I were in a company, I want to know what do you want to do or what you're about to do, even if you still need the job. So this is the only thing that I can say on LinkedIn. And then this is specific for developers. Don't underestimate your GitHub profile, because if I would have to hire someone tomorrow or today, the first thing that I will probably check are social media and your GitHub profile. This is from my perspective. I don't know if you agree or not, Kunal, but at least to have an idea. Of course, I'm not judging anyone because they write, but code is better than nothing for me, because this can be, I don't know, a project of 2 years ago, 1 year ago. It doesn't matter. We know that you're busy. Maybe you're using GitLab. I don't know. But for sure, I'll check something there. For sure, I'll check there. And I don't know, if you're looking for a React position, you should have at least one React project. This can also help you in the interview process, because you have a place to start. Maybe not all the questions will be related to your project, but I think it's not a must. I mean, we can find a job without a degree, without social media, without anything. I'm just saying that maybe you will save time. So maybe, for example, for me, I found a job without social media, I think my GitHub profile was not that good, super, but I had the connection with my university professor. So it was a bit different, but it took me 3 years. So when you see, like, become a developer in 1 week, 2 weeks, I wish you the best, but maybe it's not what will happen to the 99.99% of the people. And we need to talk to, as you say, a wider audience, to maybe talk about what can work for the most of the people. And of course, we are all unique unique skills. Maybe you don't even need, I don't know, to code some parts, but yes, it's just these tips are just for if you're just a bit lost and you just need something. I would say instead of tips to do stuff instead of what you should not do. So, like, I don't know, having 0 projects offline, having 0 online presence. This can be can sorry. One moment. This can make you find a job, especially remote, harder because I mean, if you go in person, maybe you find someone who would like really to see your face, I don't know, to see her. But if you are working remotely, I think you should empower your presence online. And not talking just about Twitter, of course, but also the projects that you have. If you can have a project which is also deployed, that will be great. For example.
Amazing. Thanks for sharing. And I think it all boils down to the credibility part that we were mentioning before. All right. One last point I'd like to ask you and to shed some light on, according to your experiences around content creation. What has your experience been like, and what are the things you have learned? And you said you wanted to start a YouTube channel 10 years ago. So what stopped you, and what did you realize after starting it, and even on Twitter and other platforms? And what all tips you have for people who want to get into content creation?
Yeah, sure. So I'll do the very fast version. So before stepping in tech, I was a volleyball coach. I was also teaching math, physics, and chemistry. And both of my parents are teachers. So we were talking about school every day in my house. And when I started becoming a developer, I stopped teaching because you can also be a developer without teaching stuff. But I was really missing that part. So when I would say, approached social media, and in March and February 2020, I started to post an article. I never created content before, so let's say I'm kind of a fresh content creator. Something clicked in my mind because for me, teaching is a mission, and you should create just some content, and not every day, but let's say consistently, because teaching is the best way to learn something. And for me, this is content creation. This is how I feel. This is why I started creating content. I don't have paid courses to grow on Twitter or other stuff. I just want to share my knowledge and what I know. And so this is, for me, it's a very personal way for me to see content creation. You can also see this in a more, say, cold way to grow an audience and get I don't know, something. For me, content creation is teaching. Is the way for me to go back on teaching after stepping into tech. I will say this in one line, but
Yeah.
that's it. That's it for me. This is
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, no, nice. I mean, same for me. That's how my channel started. I started teaching, and it helps people, helps you also. You learn new things when teaching, so that's good. But yeah, thanks a lot for joining, Francesco. And for everyone else, you want to learn more about Francesco and his experiences, and you want to get more guidance and mentorship from him, you can check out his YouTube channel. I highly recommend you to subscribe to it. You can find the link in the description below, and you can also directly jump onto Francesco's YouTube channel by clicking on his name in the title of this video, which I have tagged in. But yeah, again, do subscribe it and press the bell icon and check out his previous videos and podcasts and Twitter handles and everything. So yeah, just check out the links in the description, go explore his channel, and definitely you'll learn something new. And yeah, thanks again, Francesco, for joining. Really great talking to you. We'll see everyone in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.